So I shall be thankful to Mr. Sandeep to have given me this opportunity because I am able to share the days with Lakshmi Narayana sir, under whom I worked around 4 years in CBI. Thank you very much. I'm proud to be with the Lakshmi Narayana sir here as he is a model for you all. He is model for us also. And we've been close for around 4 years and we learnt a lot from Lakshmi Narayana sir. I hope you all follow what sir told just now and keep those things in mind. Keep away from your mobile phones. And see, you should use the mobile to the extent it is useful to you, not beyond that. So let me now come to my topic. I am working as Inspector, Railway Protection Force, and I am now posted in Cyber Cell. So even sir was also asking me, what is the need of Cyber Cell in Railway Protection Force? Maybe it would be the common question to many of you also. But see, I tell you, there is no crime which does not have the element of cyber. No such crime, any crime, whether it is a physical crime or whatever the crime may be, definitely the cyber element comes in to detect the case and to investigate further into the case for collection of evidences as well as to prove the cases before the courts. And now I tell you what, let me introduce what RPF does. Anyhow, about hacking and everything, the experts will take care of those things today and tomorrow in their explanations. Let me tell about RPF and let me tell you how the how much cyber investigations are required in future life in many areas. And let me cover my area. And see, Railway Protection Force investigates cases under Railways Act, and the other is Railway Property Unlawful Possession Act. See, in any other cases, in general crimes, IPC crimes, there is a victim to complain. But in our cases, Railways Act and Railway Property Unlawful Possession Act, there is no victim actually. So we are we register case suo moto, means we register on our own. So there we actually face challenges in detecting the case, because when there is a victim, there is a person who is affected, he will come and tell you what exactly happened with him. But in our cases, we don't have such facility. So we use technology here, particularly cyber element. And now see, let me come to your, with what you have been in touch. One website you must be using, IRCTC website. What is that website? You all must be knowing. To register, to book a reservation accommodation in trains, you must be using IRCTC website, am I right? And in that IRCTC website, what you do, you create some ID on your name. What do you require for that? You require mobile number, your name, and then you get some OTP. After that, your ID is activated. After activating the ID, you will be able to generate tickets. So now this is actually when prior to 5 to 6 years ago, people used to go to counters, railway counters, and purchase tickets there. To facilitate the public, Railways introduced IRCTC and increased the quota to IRCTC. Now even if anyone asks you what is the website which is hit for many times, means which one, what is the website you enter more than in public, which website is hit more times, if anyone asks you, you will tell that it is Amazon, but it is not correct. It is IRCTC website. Now every day IRCTC gives 15 lakh tickets every day. 15 lakh means 15 lakh visitors are there. More than 15 lakh, because unsuccessful would be there. So this is the kind of demand IRCTC has now. So now here comes the actual issue. The demand for accommodation, reservation accommodation is more, but the availability is very less. So now the criminal center, this is the area for the criminals. So what they do, they create multiple IDs. Many of you must have gone to some agent, railway agent, some ticketing agent, and you must have asked him to generate a ticket. The general modus operandi, what we see here is, he will take your mobile number, he will generate an ID in your name, he gives a ticket to you, at the same time he keeps an ID in your name, because he does not need OTP. Once he gets OTP, he is able to operate that ID with a password, and after that he does not require your mobile number. From then onwards, he starts using your ID. So we actually, when we conduct verification, we know, sir, we haven't reserved any accommodation, we haven't used this ID. Like that, we get replies from so many people. This is also kind of hacking. So because your mobile number, your name is used by someone for his business. Now let me tell what is the loss and what is the problem you have with that. See what these people do. There is a big gang organizing in entire India. There is a big gang. It's an organization, not a simple business actually. It is not 100 rupees or 200 rupees business. There are certain gangs. What they do, they actually generate IDs like this on IRCTC website, and they keep in their servers. They have such applications which can bypass the CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA, you must be knowing why this CAPTCHA is kept. The CAPTCHA is kept to not to enter a robo into the system. Am I right? So CAPTCHA is kept for that purpose. But what they do, because of the loops available in the website, because the IRCTC application itself is on the Google. Now everyone has a facility to use that website for his own purpose also. They created such an application. With that application, they capture the CAPTCHA, bypass the CAPTCHA, also OTP, and then they can generate the tickets. So like that, what they do, they generate so many tickets for their customers. They open their own business. They take around, in one of the cases, I tell you, what I investigated, in one case, the actual ticket value from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam was 950 rupees. So he was charging 3,500 rupees for one person. Such is the amount of business they have. And the entire business value in India by these unauthorized agents, it is more than 300 crores. More than 300 crores. To identify these people, to identify these gangs, to investigate such cases, actually our DG Arun Kumar sir started these cyber cells around 3 years ago. So cyber cells in RPF were established around 3 years ago. Since then we started working on this. Now we identify these IDs, we identify these persons behind these IDs on the basis of mobile numbers, on the basis of their IPs, Internet Protocol numbers, which give us lead, the mobile numbers. And then we also identify them on the basis of the scenario, the scenario of creation of IDs. So what normally people do, every person has a pattern. Say example, if you start from your home, to reach your college, you pick a certain way, and that is in your subconscious, and you always choose that way only, and you always choose to go in that pattern only. Everyone has his own pattern. Like that, criminals also have some pattern. So we analyze the data in that context. We analyze reservation data, entire data, into some 1 crore data we download, and we analyze it. And we identify the culprits, and then we verify those, we nab them, we register cases against them. That's what the Railway Protection Force cyber cells do. Apart from this, we have some other cases also. Say example, you must be knowing signal tampering, train stopped in midsection, and then some criminals attacked, robbery, dacoity. So why is train stopped in the midsection? Because some gang operated, manipulated the signal. They manipulated the signal, that's why train stopped there and they could commit robbery or dacoity in the midsection. So here comes cyber cell again. So we investigate that case. We try to find out some leads in such situations, and we try to find out those culprits and then give lead to the teams, local field teams. This is how. See, in one of the cases, what we in one of the cases where we investigated. We found that these people, they move from one place to other place with a pattern again. There is a pattern again. To commit, suppose they are doing an offense in one section, then they move to another section. Again there is a pattern. And there is a system for them. How they move, there is a system. That's what we understand. With their mobile usage or with their other usages, we see their patterns, we understand their patterns that way. So now, I tell you one of the cases, the moment the cyber cell was established, the first case I investigated was that actually involved engineering students only. Engineering students only. Knowingly or unknowingly, they did that. What they did, they were actually shooting something by keeping some objects on railway track, and they were posting these on YouTube with an intention to get viewers. As sir told already, thumbs up, thumbs down. That is the way, that is the lookout we have actually on this internet. So we get more likes means we are more famous. Am I right? And we get thumbs down means we are not famous. That's what we think actually. No question, nothing you get even if you become famous or don't become famous. Nothing you get actually. But here see, in this case, what they did, he was keeping some small object initially, play toys or aquariums on railway track. When the train passes and hits that particular object, he used to take video of that, and he used to keep that in YouTube with his channel. So he was getting some viewers and he was getting some money also for that. So in one incident, what he did, he kept gas cylinder. Can you just imagine? An engineering final year student, he kept a gas cylinder on the railway track, and he allowed a train to pass, and train was hitting the gas cylinder, and cylinder actually swept away from there. So now, how dangerous it could be, just imagine. Just imagine. A cylinder, if it blasts, the people in the train, around 2,000 people could have died. And there is a chance that train may get derailed. If it derails, again that's a problem. And another engineering youth, he also kept a two-wheeler, Honda Splendor, on the track. And this same thing he did. Two people were there, two youth. One from one engineering college and the other from another engineering college. Both, they did the same thing. One kept the cylinder and the other kept one passion for some vehicle. So how dangerous it was. Then they kept it on YouTube, And YouTube, they got some viewers, and he also got some money for it. Who viewed it? How could he get the amount? Because more people viewed it. Who viewed it? Another youth. Am I right? Another youth viewed it. That's why he got money. No one complained. No one. See, there is a chance in YouTube to complain. Am I right? No one complained there. It's a dangerous act. Is it not your responsibility? Definitely. No one. Until we saw some, actually we also didn't see that. Some fellow on the Twitter, he complained about this video. Then we saw it. The first case I took over, this one only in cyber cell. As cyber cell inspector, I investigated this case only. So now how I proceeded in that? So some vehicle was kept. The vehicle number, it was not visible in fact. But when we was moving around the vehicle, accidentally the number came there. But I split that entire video into pieces, into single photograph, enhance the vision. Then I could get one number. From there I could track that fellow. So finally, surprisingly, what I saw, he was an engineering student from Bangalore, another person from Chennai, both engineering students, final year students. Now see, not only they, even recently, one youth, the pranks. Nowadays, pranking has become more passion for youth as well as so many others also. Prank. One fellow, he was shooting on the track. He shot on the track about and the concept is suicide for a lover. See. So the lover, the girl is waiting for the boy and she is threatening that I am going to commit suicide. That is prank. What kind of prank is it? Is there any meaning in that? What kind of concept you are giving to the viewers? What is the understanding of the viewer if you keep such videos on the, publicly on YouTube? So that means, see, two videos. So many videos are there like this. In one video, some girl was calling some fellow, and calling means you could understand. How could I get that fellow? Am I right? So once he called from that location means he is in my hands immediately. Because he used his mobile. I can get that fellow very easily. No problem for me. The mobile itself is a lead for me. He called from that spot. I know the spot. I can know the spot and I can understand everything. And I can track that fellow. When we tracked him. Even on YouTube also you create channel. And in the channel you have to give the name, you have to give the mobile, you have to give the mail ID. And I can get you from there. It's not a tough task actually. It's not a tough task. We can get those people. But the kind of message that video has given to so many youth, can you just imagine? Negative, you are spreading the negative, committing suicide on the track. So the moment anyone sees the track, means a failure fellow, if he sees such videos, he will get the idea that I should commit suicide. You are giving those people are giving such an idea with this thing. And someone actually, see, people actually crossing a track is an offense. So some people, because they don't have the way, they try to reach their places by crossing the railway track. One fellow, prank, he was coming from behind and he was giving whistle, woo. And that fellow surprisingly, see what happens, even if I'm going in a normal way, if anyone comes and says, go behind me, I get just astonished, am I right? Amazing. So I will just get shocked. The same thing happened with those fellows in the videos. Suppose any train comes at the same time and he falls in before the train, what happens? He will die. So we actually, no victim complains to us. As I told you already, we actually see these things on social media. We see these things. and we check for these things, and we register cases suo motu, means on our own, and we take up investigation and we find those fellows. That's what cyber cell does. For the past, we analyze the data, we find out the persons responsible for unauthorized ticketing, we analyze social media data, we find responsible for any such illegal activities on railway premises, and we analyze the data where some offenses, any kind of offense, again offense against passengers or offense against railway property. We analyze data and we try to nab those fellows. Now see, here actually we have certain challenges. Now, as I told you already about IRCTC ticketing. So after we started nabbing these fellows on the basis of mobile numbers and the basis of IPs and on the basis of other hints we have got, what they are doing, they are now getting some people, and most of these are students only. I tell you frankly, most of these are students. What they do, they take SIM in the names of some people. Not only students, other people are also there, but students are also there. That's what I feel actually. Uneducated is there, it's no problem because he is not aware, we can understand. But educated are also there. They take SIMs in the names of these students. And some students, they actually create bank accounts for these criminals. They don't know that what is the purpose for what purpose he is going to use that account. Actually, they don't know, they are not aware of that. But what they do, they use this account and they pay some amount to these people from whom they took the account and from whom, with whose name he took the SIM also. They misuse these accounts, bank accounts, for the purpose of taking money, this illegal money into those accounts, and for the purpose of creating these IDs and everything else for the purpose of their illegal business. Unawarely, our people give these to share these things to those people, and they use all these things. What they are doing now at presently, like this, earlier they used to create in their own names. Now they have two things. One is taking the mobile numbers or taking the details of others, unknown fellows or unaware fellows, and the other is they are taking temporary mobile numbers. You must be knowing in the website there are so many. You can have temporary email ID and you can have temporary mobile numbers. And many of these users think that if temporary mail ID is used, it is not possible to reach them. But it is not correct. Even then, they can be reached. They can be reached, no problem at all. So even because sometimes why I am telling this, when we see certain people, certain youth doing these things, they do this thinking that they will not be revealed. Many of these people, they feel that they use some mail ID and they feel that they will not be caught, but they will be caught. See, here in this, that is another thing. And here in a scenario of investigation, what we the problem what we have here is now, so the mobile IDs, mobile numbers are belonging to different people, and the other particulars are belonging to other people. And apart from this, what they are doing, they are actually hiring servers, cloud computing, virtual CPUs. So earlier, when we used to check those illegal business fellows, we used to get some hints, some traces in their laptop or in their CPUs or in their mobiles. Now nothing is visible here locally. Everything is in the cloud. When we go and seize those things, we will get nothing from those physical, the available systems there. We get nothing. Now here comes the use. Now the youth, you people have to come up with some solutions. Youth should take up the investigations Means you should come up with an idea to take up investigation professions. So now actually in our area, in our so now recent sub-inspectors or recent officers who is joining, they are not actually coming up with the technical qualifications. So we actually, many of organizations, local law enforcing agencies, they require youth to take up these professions. Youth with the technical qualifications to take up these professions. We literally need them. We literally need you people to develop your inquisitive skills right from now. Right from now. Start thinking that way and develop your skills, and please join local legal enforcing agencies, and please take up professions like Sandeep did. So you take up these professions and you have a lot of scope there, and so many internet of things are coming up, and you can make the people, general public, aware of what's happening around them in the cybernet. So as Sir already told you, so many things are coming up. Everything is coming on the net. Now it is helping you, at the same time it's creating problems also. So how to solve the problems? You are the youth. You can give the better ideas. You start thinking those lines right from now. That's what actually I wanted to tell you all. You should take up these professions, because nowadays when we try to interact with any technical people or any people, what they say, I want to join Cognizant, I want to join Infosys, I want to join some other else, I want to go to USA. So that's what we listen normally. So now I request you, all of you, to take up these inquisitive skills, increase these skills, and join India to help India in these areas. Because see, whatever the forensic applications and the items we use, all of them are from US or Israel. The applications, forensic applications for analysis purpose, imaging purpose, all of them are from hardware. What we use, all of them are imported from other countries only. So we have so many technical people around us. Why don't you come up? Why don't you prepare on your own? Say Abdul Kalam sir, when the missile man. So actually around 20 years ago, the stunt what we use in the stunt, you must be knowing a stunt, implantation of stunt in the heart. If any block is there, stunt is implanted. So in those days, to get the stunt, it was very costly. 2 lakh, 2,30,000, 3 lakh, like that it was there. The price was in such a way. So then Abdul Kalam sir, he actually use of chromium cobalt is there in missiles or some defense instruments. So he actually combined with the Dr. Somaraju Garu, and they both created one stunt which was coming around 10,000 rupees price only. Earlier it was around 3 lakh or 2 lakh 80,000, 50,000, it was like that. But they could manufacture within India, and the price came down to 10,000 rupees. Chromium cobalt stent. Just imagine. So now what I am telling this, so we purchase all these items. Some items we purchase as 30 lakh rupees, and the maintenance cost every year is 6 lakh rupees. Why you don't come to this field? You develop these skills. You start this idea right from now, and help India, and develop India in that area also. You have your own, create some applications, forensic tools of your own, and then make it available to a common man also. So if you youth start doing that, definitely within next 5 to 10 years we will reach that. We will get that actually. Only thing is you should start thinking in that way. So that's what I expect from you youth. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, Sandeep. And thanks a lot. I'm very, very happy to be with you people here. Really, I felt very happy because to meet engineering skills like you. And earlier I was a lecturer. Before joining this course, I was a lecturer, in fact. I was teaching English. And whenever I get an opportunity to meet students, I love it. In fact, I love it very much. And thank you very much. I'm very, very happy to have met you all in this occasion. Thanks a lot.